This is WPTV, William Patterson Television.
Welcome back to the desk. The NFL trade deadline has come and gone, and here with me for some football talk is Fritz Napoleon, Michael Milligan, Andy Gavin, and Daniel Karp. Guys, the local New York teams battled it out last week for the first time since 2019, and they really did not disappoint in entertaining us for sure. Daniel, take us through this one.
Oh, I'm so excited to take you through this one. Rainy weather here at MetLife Stadium. Zach Wilson, Giants up 3-0 with a minute left in the first. Zach Wilson drops back, a little dump off the Brees hole, makes one man miss, makes another guy miss, and he's off to the races, and he gets through the Giants defense with no problem. He's going to get a 50-yard receiving touchdown, and he's just going to lap this one up because he knows that Giants defense is just pitiful here. Greg Gano coming in, looking for a 47-yard field goal, and hooks it to the left, and the Giants are not going to score. They're down 7-3. What is going on here? A raging Giants fan angry at this performance right now by his kicker. Here comes Tommy DeVito. When he came in for the injured Tyrod Taylor, hand off to Saquon Barkley. Nope, he's going to take it himself and score in his first NFL game. Tommy DeVito, the Jersey kid, hyped, and his teammates are hyped for him. I was hyped at the moment, but that gets ruined very quickly here. 4th down and 10. Kayvon Thibodeau coming in, gets Zach Wilson down with a minute left. The Giants just need to run out the clock, and it looks like they're very on their way of winning. But guess what? Of course, that did not happen. Old Giants fashion, the defense fails when it matters the most, and Greg the Leg ties it with, at the end of regulation, it's going to take us into overtime. The Giants will get the ball, but you know what? Brian Daboll doesn't trust Tommy DeVito to pass the ball, and I kind of don't blame him, but he's going to pass it right here, and whoop, what was that? That was just a terrible pass. I don't know why you're an NFL QB at the moment. 4th and 21. The Jets will have great field positioning here, and it looks like they're on their way to winning. 1st and 10. Salah wants to get out of there. He calls for a field goal, and it is good. The Jets walk it off in what I'll call it points Jet Life Stadium. And this game, Mark, was just the epitome of New York football over the last decade. Just terrible. And let's take a look at the punt stats because this is just hilarious. Jamie Gillan.
The Scottish Hammer, Jimmy Gillan.
And Thomas Morrison. Gillan with 13 punts, 24 punts in total. Gillan with 549 punt yards to Morrison 529. Gillan with 42.2 average yards per punt, and Morrison with 48.1 yards per punt. Jamie Gillan had a 58 long punt, and Thomas Morrison with a 55-yard punt. Mark, this game just really annoyed me, and just for that, the Giants are really making me feel some kind of way. I gotta do it. What? I gotta do it. They suck. They're so bad. We suck. We are terrible. This game was so bad. I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the season, but this is just terrible.
I mean, I don't know how to respond to that, but I mean, I guess I know your answer to this next question. I mean, which team do you think is the worst in New York?
The New York Giants are the worst team. They are terrible. I was so wrong about that, and I apologize to the Cowboys fan for saying whatever goes wrong will go wrong because
Get that out of here.
Whatever can go wrong has gone wrong. I had high expectations for them. Some people did, and they just have not lived up to that. It's just been really bad. Brian Daboll looks like he's coaching scared, and yeah, that's all there really is to it.
Well, I mean, Andy, you felt a certain way about the bag. I mean,
Come on, are we going to blame the Giants?
Yes.
We're blaming Brian Daboll.
Him too, but yes, I believe the Giants.
We ran 3 screens in overtime. We lost that game because of Brian Daboll. As a Giants fan, you blaming all the Giants? Sure. The defense has been immaculate, and you're going to blame the Giants' defense in overtime? We shouldn't have been in overtime with Brian Daboll.
Both of you are feeling a certain.
No, because if you're going to come on, we should have won that game. Saying the Giants are the worst team in.
But they didn't.
Oh my God, they should have.
But
I
they
think
didn't.
Fritz knows, and Milligan knows, Giants should have won that game. We missed 2 field goals.
Well, it's hard to win a game when your QB can only complete screen passes. I mean, I think it's consensus that the Giants are the worst team in New York at this moment right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There's no question behind it.
I'm kind of leaning that way too. Milligan, what are your opinions on this one?
It's like half and half, like a nice Arnold Palmer iced tea. I swear, it's not great for either team. Everyone's like the Giants are better. Everyone's like the Jets are better. Like, who's really better? Who really cares? I mean, look at this right now. I'm telling you right now, like, I'm a Jets fan. I get it. You know, I'm really excited because, you know, but my quarterback lasted 4 plays, 75 seconds, and then popped his Achilles like a Lego. All right. So listen to me right now. This is like one of those things where I'm like, all right. the Jets, the Giants, they both suck. Let's just move on. I can't talk
You know what? I
about
kind of
It's
agree with him.
embarrassing.
Yeah,
It is
I know.
embarrassing, sloppy football, and it embarrasses the city of New York.
They play New Jersey.
Especially we thought that they were going to be good this year.
Yeah, I mean-
their schedule was harder. We didn't expect a better record, but like we expected a better product on the field.
Yeah.
Or the same would have been.
I mean, Brian
good.
Dable coming off a Coach of the Year
And
victory
he
award.
looks terrible.
He does. Brian Dable fraud, question mark? But that's for another time. Anyway, we're going to move on to probably a lot more of an entertaining game, but that doesn't really say much. Yeah, just by a little bit. The Steelers and the Titans played on Thursday night, last night, with Will Levis starting his second game in a row. Andy Gavin, take us through this one.
Let's see the highlights right here. My boy right here. Look at DeAndre Hopkins, man. Right here, we're going to pick it up. Kenny Pickett handoff to Najee Harris. He's going to fight and get that touchdown. They're going to go up big. A touchdown. Then we're going to hand off here. Will Levis. Derrick Henry's going to fight for that, and he's going to extend for the touchdown. They're going to go up 9-6. Well, then we're going to jump here. Kenny Pickett downfield. Deontay Johnson. He's going to make that catch. Trying to stay in bounds. Gets out of bounds, and he was on fire. Then we get back here to Will Levis. He's going to go towards there and get picked off by my boy, Quan Alexander. And
Big Quan Alexander
I
fan.
loved him on the Saints. But we didn't see in the highlight was the touchdown by Deontay Johnson. That was just a great route and really good play by Kenny Pickett. They're going to win here. And you know what? I think I'm going to be a Kenny Pickett fan all the
Really?
way.
I mean,
I loved
Jersey
I
guy.
loved him in Pitt too.
Yeah,
We
you
talked
did.
about that a
You
lot.
did. Jersey guy too. But going over to you, Fritz, what do you think was the key to the Steelers winning this one?
I definitely think one of the keys was a breakout game from Jalen Warren. I mean, he really helped with the field position, running really hard, where he had 8 yards per attempt. Okay, really trucking any defender that even dared to come his way when we were playing last night. I really think that was one of the best things that the Steelers did, was giving him the time to shine.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good 1-2 punch between him and Najee Harris. But Andy, moving on to you, you got to recap the game. What do you think was the reason they won?
I'm going to say Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is a head coach candidate for me for Coach of the Year. They've had many comeback wins this year. He started Broderick Jones at tackle. He brought Matt Canada down onto the field so they can have that connection with Kenny Pickett on the sideline, better communication, and rushing before Broderick Jones was 3.4 yards a carry. Last night, each running back, 6.4. That just shows the difference. He's been, for the past, 12, 15 years, he's been a top 5 coach. Mike
absolutely.
Tomlin is insane. I say he is the reason why they've been winning, and they've been coming back in all these games.
I mean, for years now, he's had middle of the pack rosters that he's taken into
Absolutely.
playoff pushes. But Michael Milligan, moving on to you, why do you think the Steelers won this one?
Because of what you mentioned before, Jalen Warren in the run game in general, but Najee Harris. Look, Najee Harris must have heard that I benched him in fantasy because he was mad. He was playing with some aggression out there. Let me tell you, 16 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, he's like, get me off your bench and put me in. Let me tell you right now. No, but yeah, Najee Harris definitely was, I think, the biggest reason as to why they won that game.
Yeah, I mean, the run game as a whole, we talked about Jalen Warren, and Najee Harris was a big contributor to that too. Daniel Karp, close us out for this one.
It's got to be Steelers' defensive line. They have a history of having a great defensive line. It's just been great this year. I want to point out one guy, Alex Highsmith, had a really nice game with 2 sacks. He has 4.5 sacks in the season, underrated part of the Steelers' defensive line. We could talk about T.J. Watt all the time. He had a sack last night. He has 9.5 this year, second in the NFL. Marcus Golden, former Giant, with a low sack there, and Cameron Hayward. Now, I want to say, Will Levis has a really good pocket presence, but the Steelers got at him all the time, and when Will Levis is under pressure, he seemed to not be able to make plays. He can't roll out of the pocket and make any plays. So I really think that the Steelers did a great job attacking him and forcing him to try to make plays, but he can't. So he's been getting sacked.
Yeah, I mean, year after year, that Steelers front seven is really what kind of carries them, honestly. But moving on, the trade deadline has come and gone, and many GMs have made their moves, bolstering their rosters with new players. Fritz, going over to you, which trade do you think made their roster better?
I don't know what Howie Roseman has going on in Philadelphia, but
couldn't even
he just
give a
keeps winning. He can't keep getting away with this. Okay, he got Kevin Byard, all pro safety for like a bag of chips.
Yeah,
Okay,
pretty much.
I feel like this is really going to help the Eagles defense. I feel like he's definitely going to fill in that role. I think that they're missing Chelsea Gardner-Johnson a lot. Okay, he was that ball hawk safety for them last year, replacing him with somebody that led the league in interceptions a couple of years ago. I think that he's really going to round out that defense and make it a lot more complete. The Eagles just can't keep getting away with this. The rich just keep getting richer.
Seriously. Karp, over to you.
It's going to be Chase Young going to the 49ers. Chase Young was elite in his rookie year in 2020. He has he had injuries and he's coming back now, but he has 5 sacks on the season, which is going to be the most on the 49ers when he gets there. He's joining Arik Armstead, Nick Bosa, and Javon Hargrave. This 49ers
Teaming back up with Bosa.
Yes, this 49ers defensive line has just taken a big step up, and I think they are the best team in the NFC. They had a 3-game skid, but I really think that with Chase Young, they answered the call to losing 3 games, and they really improved that defensive front.
Really, I mean, you want to talk about the rich getting richer with the Eagles. The 49ers, just year after year.
Better.
I mean, last year at the deadline, they got McCaffrey, and now you get Chase Young, a premier pass rusher on the upswing. But Michael Milligan, which trade do you think was the biggest?
I'm going with Ezra Cleveland. Look, all offensive linemen need some love too. Let me tell you right now, they only got him for a 6th-round pick. For any starting position in the league, especially a guard like that, to protect your franchise quarterback, for only a 6th-round pick is crazy that Minnesota gave up him for that little. I'm telling you right now, Jacksonville, they're looking really, really hot right now, and I think Ezra Cleveland's only going to add to them being a better football team.
Yeah, I mean, former sports desk host Maury Rose is probably happy about that one. But Andy Gavin, over to you.
I'm going to say Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs, he was in Cardinals. You know, right now he has almost 1,600 yards passing, 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 81 QBR. And
Fix that.
But he's going to have Jordan Addison now, KJ Osborne, TJ Hawkinson. He will be fine. He's going to have to learn the offense. Probably won't start for the first few games, but he's going to bolster this offense. And losing Kirk Cousins, that's absolutely huge, as he's a top 6, 7 quarterback in the league. Argue me all you want. It's true. But he is going to help them have this playoff push because they started off slow, but now they're going to get hot.
You know, I really like your tie, by the way.
Yeah, you know, not a Broncos fan, but I asked for the Broncos tie. He meant the Sean Payne tie.
Well, you got the Broncos.
Got to be specific.
Anyway, you know, we had some trade deadline winners with those trades, but we've also had some losers, specifically teams that really didn't do anything. Keeping it back over with you, Andy, who do you think was a surprising team that didn't make a move at the deadline?
They did make a move. I know. They did make a move. They bought when they should have sold. That's their inactivity. They're the Bears. The Bears are god-awful, as we know. They are sticking what they have, and it's awful. They should have sold. They should have let everyone go.
Do they have anyone to sell, though? That's the thing.
Do you have any reason to buy either?
No.
Exactly. It's very questionable on what the Bears are doing, and I can't even think we were talking about
Ryan Poles.
Ryan Poles is not a good GM. Eberflus is not a good head coach.
Bears just need to clean house.
And
do what the Raiders do.
Is Fields even a good quarterback?
Oh,
Who's to say? Could have sold Fields.
for another time.
Yeah.
Michael Milligan.
My home team, the New York Jets, let me tell you right now, it is upsetting to see that they did not trade for anyone. I mean,
They tried.
They did. So yes, they did try for Devontae Adams and Mike Evans. But what about the offensive line? 2 of them went out in the same game. Like a 1-2 wombo combo. Like what's happening here? I don't know. Like the field at MetLife is not doing well. Look, why not trade Dalvin Cook or Carl Lawson? See if you can get an offensive lineman or maybe another wide receiver. I'm not sure what they think they're doing. It's just not going well right now. But hey, Joe Douglas might have something later for next offseason. I don't know.
Hey, could have had Ezra Cleveland for a 6th. Daniel Karp.
It's going to be them boys, the Dallas Cowboys. No pun intended towards my feelings towards our fans, but I'm surprised they didn't make any moves. 5-2 record. They're looking to win the NFC East. They're looking to be at the top of the NFC. They have a lack of receiver depth behind CeeDee Lamb, who is an amazing receiver. Brandon Cooks hasn't really worked out for them. Michael Gallup really hasn't been getting involved. I would have liked to see them maybe go out for another receiver. Maybe Devontae Adams from the Raiders, since the Raiders really aren't going anywhere.
Nasty.
That would have been nasty, but the Philadelphia Eagles and the 49ers are they're kryptonite. They're always going to be better than them, and the Dallas Cowboys just can't seem to get past those two. And they're playing the Eagles. They're playing the Eagles this Sunday, so that's going to be interesting. I really think the Cowboys, they really needed to do something to get atop the NFC.
I agree. I mean, it was surprising because, the Cowboys are always talked about. It's like the Lakers when you talk about a player getting traded. They're always going to be mentioned. But Fritz, close us out for this one.
Gonna have to go with the Raiders. I mean, what are you doing, okay? They move on from their head coach. They bench Jimmy Garoppolo. They've scored over 20 points one time this whole season. Look, the Raiders have 2 Lamborghinis sitting in a junkyard right now with Devontae Adams and Max Crosby. This is a clear sign that they need to just reset. Factory reset, trade everybody, just rebuild. But they're holding on to Devontae Adams for what? He just looks miserable on that sideline. Every time the camera pans to him, he's pouting, he's slamming his helmet.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there. They just need to reset everything, ship everyone out.
No, I agree. I mean, I would love to see it as a Broncos fan, of course. But That's about all the time we have today. Don't forget to follow us at SportsDeskWP for updates and more. Thank you to all the cast and crew, and a big shout out to our studio manager, Al Clarke. From Studio B in Hamilton Hall, and for everyone here at the desk, I'm Marc Brandt. Join us next time here on WPTV.